Right now at 10, two girls with disabilities are reinstated to the Madison West swim team. We'll hear from their parents as they compete at tonight's meet.
Continuing to track summer-like warmth. Look at these temperatures in the 80s out till Tuesday. But will these temperatures further out in the 10 days stay in the 70s? I have some updates I'm going to share.
Plus, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin pauses its abortion services. We'll tell you where patients can go to find care. That is all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. Tonight, two Madison West High School swimmers are back in the pool after fighting for their place on the team.
Our Maddie Heimsch brings us the race and the road it took to get there.
Sometimes it's the exhibition race with the most at stake.
When she woke up, she said, I'm ready to race.
That's the first thing she said to me this morning. She said, I'm ready to race. Right when I woke her up, she said that.
As Madison West High School's Aurelia Bergstrom and Asha Shukla dive back into the pool.
She's just thrilled to be doing what she was expecting to be doing, all along.
The two athletes were cut from the school's swim and dive team at the beginning of the school year when the exhibition opportunity that made the team accessible to them was scrapped.
The idea that just a short-sighted decision by somebody in an office in the Doyle building could take that apart for kids, that doesn't seem right.
But almost as quickly as they were removed from the team, the community went from the bleachers to the board meeting and fought for their right to be on the roster.
She's had this passion. She was committed to participating on the swim team with her peers.
Swimming is such a big passion of hers, and she enjoys it a lot.
I'm just thrilled that they all get a chance to swim together now.
Those friends, family members, and advocates say they hope a lesson was learned.
It shows how relatively easy it is to find a way to be more inclusive.
I am a full believer in inclusive athletics. Some girls really, really deserve to be with their teammates. And I for sure want to see this as something that we consider normal.
And that with their splash back into the pool.
She's at home in the pool, and they're all at home together. So you can just see in the crowd, you can see in that pool, it's just a community of kids.
Asha and Aurelia can cause a ripple effect.
And the students speaking out probably meant the most to Aurelia and to us.
She's got the support of the whole community, and she's excited to pay back the favor for other kids across town.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
That's right. Keep swimming, girls. Maddie, thank you. These summer-like temperatures are going to continue across the News 3 Now viewing area.
That's right, Alex. How long will we stay near these 80s?
We got a couple of days in the 80s. Remember, 80s are normal high temperatures for July and August, not for the end of September, but it is what it is. That's what the late Grandma Harrington would say, staying in the 80s all the way till Tuesday, even as we go out further into the 10-day. Just right now, assessing changes to our temperatures as we head out towards late next week. Low 70s, that may be a bit too chilly in what I'm forecasting, and we'll update here after the newscast. But first, to let you know, warmer temperatures are likely on the way for the latter part of next week. We're going to do 83 on Saturday, breaking it down a little bit warm. Winds on the light side, sunny skies, a touch cooler. Still 80 on Sunday. That's still very summer-like with winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour. Again, light winds, sunny skies this weekend. It's going to feel warm out there. Tonight, though, we've got a little bit of fog that we're going to track in a couple minutes when we get back together here to talk more about weather, and no rain in this forecast. So in a couple minutes when I return, we're going to track that fog. When can we expect that fog to be the thickest across southern Wisconsin? When will it exit the area? And more about the latter part of the 10-day forecast, how warm those temperatures could be. I'll let you know in a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. Bond is now set for the man accused of killing a Dodgeville woman and taking her body and vehicle to Nebraska. Today, a judge set Gavin Thompson's bond at $500,000. Thompson faces several charges, including first-degree intentional homicide. A criminal complaint alleges Thompson entered Dorinda Segebrecht's home in Dodgeville and stabbed her to death. During today's hearing, Thompson told the court that he did not understand the charges against him. His attorney, Michelle Marie Dietrich, raised concerns about his competency to stand trial, and a competency hearing will be held December 12th.
And now to continuing coverage on the issue of abortion in Wisconsin. Yesterday, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin announced a pause on abortion services after September 30th. Today, Public Health Madison-Dane County worked to help patients learn where they can go in the meantime. There are 2 independent clinics in Milwaukee offering abortion services. State law requires these clinics have 2 appointments 24 hours apart, parental consent for minors, as well as a mandatory ultrasound. So there will likely lead to a backlog in appointments.
Still ahead at 10, Alex rejoins us to tell us if we'll get any rain with that warm up.
And the former director of the FBI is indicted. Could more charges be on the way for other political opponents? That's next.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Last night, we reported that former FBI Director James Comey was indicted.
And now President Trump says more charges could be on the way. Comey is set to be arraigned on 1 count of obstruction of a congressional proceeding and 1 count of making false statements. The indictment comes days after President Trump publicly urged his attorney general to target Comey and other political opponents. Summer-like weather ahead for southern Wisconsin.
Sure is. Alex, will rain come up with this warm-up at all?
I know every day everybody's probably wondering, when is Alex going to add some rain to the forecast? Unfortunately, not in this one. 7-day precip chances way low. Very dry conditions expected for the next 7, maybe even the next 10 days. So warm and dry. That's the mode. Warm on Saturday and dry at 83. Warm on Sunday and dry at 80 for a high, and light winds as well. So not a lot of relief in terms of having a bit of a breeze. So shorts and short sleeve shirts and sunglasses and sunscreen. That's what you should prepare for to wear on Saturday and on Sunday. You should also prepare for the potential for some patchy dense fog. Let's track this slowly here. Southwest Wisconsin, you still stand the chance of having a little bit of patchy fog, but better chances from, let's say, the Dells to Madison to Janesville, areas off towards the north and towards the east. So this is 4:30 in the morning. Maybe you're heading off to the farmers market at 6 o'clock in the morning. We got an 1/8 of a mile visibility from the Dells to Madison to Janesville. Some possibly pockets of 0 visibility. So take it easy. Have that First Warn weather app handy. We might have some dense fog advisories issued if this is going to verify. And then as we head towards 9 o'clock, that fog burns off and it's out of here by the time we get to the afternoon hours on Saturday. Temperatures, though, as we wake up to Saturday morning, very pleasant, 50s to some cases close to 60, closer to the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Average low, 47. So we're 10 degrees above normal for our low temperature, and we are 10 plus degrees above normal for high temperatures of 85 in Lone Rock. I'm actually going to go for a high 84 in Madison as I review some of our latest weather models here. So a very warm summer-like day, not a fall-like day on Saturday. Taking a look at the 10-day forecast here from left to right, 83 Saturday, 80 on Sunday, 83 on Monday. Latest indications with our weather models as we head out towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we could likely stay in the upper 70s to the lower 80s as we go out into next weekend. Weather models just keep pushing that cooler air, trying to get in to southern Wisconsin further out into the future. So we'll be updating those temperatures to be a bit more on the warm side late in the 10-day period, going all the way out to 14 days, warmer than normal for the entire country, really. And I'm not seeing any signal of us seeing significant precipitation in Wisconsin. In fact, much of the country staying on the dry side. And, well, why? High pressure causes sinking air. That means that we don't have rising air, meaning we don't have showers, we don't have thunderstorms. We often see sunny skies. We often see the weather pattern quiet, dry, and in this case, warm, with all the shower and thunderstorm activity around that high pressure, not in the state of Wisconsin. So staying dry, staying warm all the way through the extended period. And if you want to do a little travel up to northeast Wisconsin, that's the place to go real quick here for some of those fall colors.
All right, wow. Not a lot changing right now, but it is fall.
It is fall. Eventually, it will get here.
All right, thanks, Alex.
That's all for News 3 Now at 10. The final drive starts now.
Welcome into week 6 of high school football. I'm Andrew Banstra, and this is the final drive. It is hard to believe that after tonight, we'll already be 2/3 of the way through the high school football season, the regular season that is, making matchups like these all the more important. We go straight to our game of the week, a Badger Large battle between two 4-1 teams. And it is going to have major playoff implications. In the first quarter, the Cardinals were marching. Braylon Peterson pushing the ball, I should say, to his man Van Vogler for a big gainer. And later, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Peterson puts it on Vogler again. And Sun Prairie East gets the early score. And they get the ball back too. But then, this is the last thing you want to see. Fumble! The pitch misses. Brady Kaufman and the Silver Eagles snatch up the opportunity. Later on, Jackson Zabowski, the quarterback for Monona Grove, he gets it into the end zone himself. A fantastic game here that is going to have major playoff implications. And Monona Grove wins a stunner, 21-16. The final score, and we send it to Nash Dara for our game of the night.
Thanks, Andrew. The game of the night brought us to Lodi High School, and put on your best dress because it was homecoming. The Capital Division matchup tonight lugged the 5-0 Lake Mills L-Cats, led by state touchdown leader Tyler Woolen Jr., to face off against the 4-1 Lodi Blue Devils. A bout made for Friday nights. The last 8 times these teams have seen each other, they have split the series 4-4. The L-Cats started off slow in the first half, going scoreless, but the second half started off strong after a deep bomb from Woolen Jr. to Dylan Brinkman to set up the passing touchdown to Gibson Quant. However, this would be the only points of the night for the L-Cats, as the Blue Devils would go on to win 24-7.
And we jump to Division I, where it was a Madison mashup. We start on the west side of town, where Madison La Follette and Madison East each looked for their first back-to-back wins of the season. Believe it or not, last week, both the Lancers and the Regents won by 1 point. We pick things up in the fourth quarter, West winning big, 20-0, but the Lancers' Dylan Olkers does not let that donut stay on the board. The halfback houses it and gets La Follette into the end zone, but the Regents, they would not be denied. Jack Jurgella gets into the end zone, and how about this? Madison West wins what we'll call the Madison Cup. They sweep their Madison Public School opponents, and I can tell you, although the final score isn't in there, Madison West wins big over La Follette in this one over at Mansfield Stadium. Staying in Madison, but headed to the east side, where someone was going to come out of the night with their first win of the season. But not all 0-5 records are created equal. Memorial's offense has been middle of the road. They're averaging 12.5 points per game. Meanwhile, Madison East still has not scored a single point this season. We pick things up in the second half. Memorial up 35-0, and the Spartans would spark their offense once more. Memorial known for their passing prowess, but this time they put it on the ground. Cam Petaway puts it into the end zone, and he would put the Golders away. The Spartans finally get into that win column after that wonderful year that they had last year. The final score, 42-0. The only other action in the Big 8 this evening was a crosstown showdown in Janesville, where the Cougars beat the Vikings 15-6. And in the East Central Conference, another big-time win. It was the Golden Beavers getting it done over Watertown 35-7. After starting their season with back-to-back wins, it has been a tough trail for Oregon, losing each of their last 3, and things didn't get easier tonight. Hosting an undefeated Waunakee team, and the challenges kept piling up for the Panthers, trailing 39-0 in the fourth quarter, and finally they would pounce their way into the end zone. Ethan Pagels puts it on his man Braden Evans to put a crooked number on the scoreboard. But Waunakee, they still wanted more. Keegan Ballard was bawling out. He keeps his Warriors chugging as they go on the road and take out Oregon, winning big, 52-20, the final score. To Edgerton for a Rock Valley rivalry where Jefferson comes out on top over the Crimson Tide, 34-21 the final. And how about the Mississippi Valley Conference, where Reedsburg gets a big-time win, 49-7, the final score there. We told you early this season, New Glarus isn't just known for spotted cow anymore, but for great high school football too. For the first time since 2010, the Glarner Knights are 5-0. But to get to 6-0, they have a hill to climb against a really good Platteville team. The Hillmen have won 3 of 4 since losing their season opener. And let me tell you, this one was a barn burner. Platteville's Brody Digman passes to Will Zielinski to put his Hillmen on top. But this thing was just getting started. New Glarus got their get back. Matt Roth was slinging the rock. Do not let that man get hot. Finds his man who charges his way into the end zone. And folks, certainly weren't betting on this game, but if you were, I hope you didn't take the under, because this one is as high scoring as we're going to get in high school football. New Glarus wins it 42-20. Looking at some scores elsewhere, Darlington and the Redbirds win 37-6 over Fenimore. And how about this for a big-time showdown down in that bottom score as Black Hawk Warren takes down the Blue Golds. 14-7 is the final score. And moving on, we're going to get to another fantastic game. Columbus and Clinton. Couldn't ask for a much better in a repeat matchup of last year where the Cardinals won handily. But this year is as different as it gets for the Cougars, who already have more wins this year than they did all of last. This battle of 4-1 teams was a special night, a spectacular flag ceremony before the game. And this matchup between the Cardinals and the Cougars turned into a one-sided affair with 2 early rushing touchdowns from this man, the absolute running back who's not gonna get caught. How about Owen Cowell, the bell cow halfback, gets into the end zone once, and he'll do it again just here in a second. How about number 5 putting on those road running dashers, running through the Cougars and finding his way into the end zone. 42-0, Columbus, the final score. Looking at a couple of more scores as we move on to our next screen. Marshall and Cambridge, I think we were going to get to that game, but looks like maybe we're going to be going elsewhere as we come back here out onto camera to the Badger Small, where 2 teams come into the night with just 1 loss on their ledger. For Mount Horeb, their 4-1 record should be no surprise. They're a perennial powerhouse. But for Sauk Prairie, they've surprised people. They're off to their best start in 20 years. You have to go all the way back to 2005 to find the last time the Eagles started 4-1. First possession of the 3rd quarter, Mount Horeb up a touchdown, and Sauk Prairie slings it. Caden Hermsdorf to Blaze Caldwell, but then how about this? Mount Horeb Barneveld started slinging it, and once they do that, let me tell you, there's no stopping Brooks Hendrickson or Colin Hagg. Mount Horeb Barneveld ends up running the score up, putting up a big number, 57-24, and we'll be right back with a whole lot more sports. Last season, Wisconsin women's hockey broke their own record, winning their 8th national championship. But the celebration for Mark Johnson's squad is over. It's a new season, and their road to a 9th national championship trophy started tonight in Bemidji. A Beavers team the Badgers played and defeated a total of 6 times last year by a cumulative score of 36-2. Early on, Kirsten Sims, well, she picks up right where she left off. What can't number 27 do? She scored the game winner in the national championship game last year with 18 seconds on the clock and gets it done tonight, scoring 2 goals against the Beavers, but she wouldn't be outdone by anybody other than Maggie Scannell. Scannell, number 14 for the Badgers, puts up a trio of goals. Folks, bring out your best flat-billed hat or even a fedora, I guess. It's a hat trick for Maggie Scannell as the Badgers win big in the season opener, 9-2, the final score. Wisconsin volleyball went 7-1 in non-conference play, showing that in Kelly Sheffield's program, the product stays consistent, even with a whole lot of new faces. But for Sheffield, non-conference means nothing. It's all about the Big Ten. A new season, the Badgers began tonight at the Fieldhouse facing Rutgers. Wisconsin won the first set, and in the second, Charlie Furbringer, the setter, shows she can serve with the best of them, too. That is an ace in your face. And later, how about one of those freshmen, one of many newcomers on this squad, Madison Quest. She spikes it down. The Wisconsin native gets it going, but she is outdone here by Mimi Collier, and you can't blame her there. That was Quest's spike, and we'll get to this right here. Mimi Collier, a match-high 10 kills. This one of them. I mean, come on. How do you stop that as the Badgers sweep the Scarlet Knights in their Big Ten opener? Believe it or not, the Brewers start their final series of the regular season this evening. They hosted the Reds, and the Crew had a chance for a twofer tonight. With a win, not only would they set a franchise record for their most W's in a season, but could also lock up the top seed in the National League. The Phillies did their part, and they won. And at AmFam, it just was not the Brewers' evening. Jackson Chourio, who's about to catch it right here earlier in this game, became the youngest player in MLB history to post consecutive 20 home run, 20 stolen base seasons. But the Reds would not be denied as they go on to take it from the Crew 3-1, the final score. And we'll be right back.
Tonight.
Hello?
Oh, there's got John Oliver.
2 late night shows while supplies last.
CBS Tonight.
2 Wisconsin fire departments have had a friendly wager over an annual high school football game. Both Merrill's Josh Klug and Antigo's Corey Smith have formed a friendship because of their similar pasts. Last year, Antigo's chief bought Merrill's chief lunch. This week, Chief Smith suffered another loss and had to, as you see, wash Chief Klug's service car. But he didn't have to do it alone, as Klug is more than willing to help out his friend and his rival. The fire chiefs say they're looking forward to next year's game and wager. And Nash, you couldn't ask for anything much better than that to close out a night with a whole lot of high school football than something that's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I've washed your car many times, so I think it's time for you to return the favor.
We'll get right to that. We'll do that after this, in fact. Thank you for watching News 3 Now at 10. Coming up now is The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Our next newscast is tomorrow morning at 5.